Hey there, boils and ghouls. I'm Mr. Macabre, and welcome back to my movie library. Today is an amazing day. I am so happy to have this in my possession. You already know what I'm talking about is the 4K of Salem's Lot, the original 1979 miniseries directed by Tobe Hooper, based on Stephen King's book. Man. Starring David Soul and James Mason, Bonnie Bedelia, Reggie Nalder, Jeffrey Lewis, on and on and on. This is something I have dreamed of forever. I've wanted this so long, and I finally got it, and to actually be holding it in my hands. It was, okay, real quick side note, it was suggested to me by one of my viewers that, I should start doing videos, which I am going to do. As a matter of fact, I got, because I figured, well, I'll start with Arrow. He suggested that maybe, start doing videos where I show off, my entire collection as far as, labels are concerned. Show us all your Scream Factory, show us all your Arrow, show us all your Vinegar Syndrome, on and on. I am going to do those videos, and they are going to take a little bit of time. And this one that's why I haven't posted a video in, a little bit, because I'm kind of going through all my stuff, trying to figure out, okay, which ones do I have and all this. So, and I was like, well, I'll go ahead and do Arrow. So that video is going to be right around the corner, because I figured, well, since I got this, so I can just add that into it. But anyway, so yeah, that video will be coming, pretty much immediately. So be on the lookout for that if you're interested in seeing it. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about, Salem's Lot on 4K. I love how you got the little bit of spot gloss on there on Barlow, and, the house. Well, not the house, just on the outline of Barlow. This is easily my all-time favorite vampire movie. I've loved this movie ever since I was a kid. It genuinely scared the crap out of me when I was little. My mother, I remember, some funny stories. I remember my mother telling me that she told me the first time she actually read the book, as soon as she was done reading the book, she took it outside and she threw it in the trash. She was like, that book scared me so bad, and I got such bad vibes off of that book, I didn't even want it in the house. So, she actually took the book outside and just tossed it in the trash. She didn't even, it scared her so bad she didn't even want it in the house. Almost as close as, Joey from Friends, that episode where Rachel finds out that Joey took the book, The Shining, and it scared him so bad, so he threw it in the freezer. And then, she's like, why did you put the book in the freezer? Because it scared me so bad, And so she starts reading it, and then at the end of the episode, she takes the book, she starts reading it, she takes it, she throws the book in the freezer, So yeah, it's kind of similar to that, but we watched this. I remember, I remember one of the first times going into a record store, and it was the first time I had seen movies on videotape. And I don't think it was, I think it was a beta tape, but it was the 2-hour version, Salem's Lot, the movie, the 2-hour version. And I remember it was like, my God, I wanted it so bad. I mean, I just so badly wanted it. Of course, at that time, this is right around the time video stores were just popping up. And of course, so, unless you had hundreds of dollars, you couldn't buy one, all you could do was rent it. So it was just a rental copy, but I think it was a beta tape. And there was no way we could buy it. And then, there was no way we could buy it. And then also, too, we didn't have a VCR at that point. But then as soon as we got a VCR and, I was able to, I rented it several times. And I admit I'm guilty of this, same as many people are. We found out how to, hook up two VCRs together and dub tapes. So yeah, it wasn't long at all before I dubbed the tape. But even then, it was that collector me, that obsessive compulsive collector me. It wasn't enough just to have it recorded on tape. I needed to own it. I had to have it. The legit copy of it. I needed it. This is my absolute favorite vampire movie ever. And so, I did buy, I bought this movie countless times over the years. I bought the one tape, 2-hour version. I bought that. And then years down the road, when they finally released the two tape, VHS of, the complete miniseries. Of course, I jumped on that as fast as I could. Then over the years, it was like as soon as I got a DVD player, this was one of the very first ones I bought on DVD. Then, of course, on Blu-ray, and now on 4K. So I've bought this movie many, many times, so many times. And I do have it on streaming. I have it on my Vudu/Fandango account. So I've owned this movie multiple times. And my brother, he's amazing. He bought me the vinyl soundtrack. I do have the vinyl soundtrack. And I was lucky because even he told me, he's like, you know what? He's like, I was tempted. He's like, honestly, he's like, I got this for you. But to be truthful and honest with you, I was tempted to keep this for myself and not even tell you that I got it. But, so anyway, excuse me. But ever since 4K came out, I always thought to myself, like, wouldn't it be great if they could do this on 4K? Then, I started seeing some of these TV movies, from the 70s get 4K releases. Wait a minute, Duel is on 4K? Dark Knight of the Scarecrow is on 4K? I started thinking, what about, like, why couldn't they do Salem's Lot? Maybe you could do Duel and you could do Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. Why not Salem's Lot? And I was thinking some other, TV movies. I would love to see Arrow do the exact same, give the TV movie Helter Skelter with Steve Railsback, Marilyn Burns, George DeCenzo. I would love to see them give Helter Skelter the exact same treatment they did this. I would snag that sucker up in a heartbeat because it's the same thing. They had there was a 3-hour miniseries, but then they did like a 2-hour TV movie for like overseas for theatrical release. And that one is interesting because in that one you get nudity and stuff in that version. If they could do something like that with Helter Skelter, I would jump on that sucker in a heartbeat, believe me. But, but when they announced this, I could not believe it. I was like, we're going to get it. And then Sorry to See is like, oh my, we're going to get the whole schmear on there. We're going to get the TV miniseries. We're going to get the 2-hour version. We're going to get, Tobe Hooper's commentary. We're going to get new bonus features and everything else. And, it was like, there was no ifs, ands, or buts. I was going to buy this. And I did. So, unfortunately, it just took me longer to get it. So obviously, other people were able to review this first and everything. But I am just so thrilled. And this was worth every penny. It was $35.97, I believe, off of Amazon. But it took me a little bit longer to get it. But I don't care. I have it. And I am so blessed to own this now. And, go ahead real quick. We'll, show you what's on here. And let's see here. Limited edition contents. You got brand new 4K restoration of both the original 2-part miniseries and the shorter theatrical cut. Distributed internationally. 4K 2160p UHD Blu-ray presentations in Dolby Vision HDR10 compatible on both versions of the film. Original lossless mono audio, original optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, reversible sleeve featuring the two original artwork options, collector's perfect bound booklet containing new writing on the film by critics Sean Abley, Sorcha sorry, I can't pronounce that, and Richard Kadri. Plus select archival material, including interviews with director Tobe Hooper and stars Lance Kerwin and Julie Cobb. Salem's Lot town sign sticker, double-sided fold-out poster featuring 2 original artwork options. I'm so happy. I've been wanting a Salem's Lot poster forever, and now I got one. I've already got the frame. I'm ready to put that sucker up here in a minute. This one, you got the original TV miniseries version, 2 viewing modes. Play as miniseries in 2 parts as per the original broadcast or as extended movie. Brand new audio commentary by film critics Bill Ackerman and Amanda Reyes. Archive audio commentary by director Tobe Hooper. Alternate TV footage. Commercial bumpers and original broadcast version of The Antler's death. Original shooting script gallery. Then on disc 2, theatrical version, you got brand new audio commentary by film critic Chris Alexander. King of the Vampires, a new interview with Stephen King biographer Douglas Winter. Second Coming, a new appreciation by author and critic Grady Hendrix. New England Nosferatu, a new interview with filmmaker Mick Garris. Fear Lives Here, a new featurette looking at the locations of Salem's Lot today. We Can Be Heroes, a new featurette with film critic Heather Wixson, co-author of In Search of Darkness. A gold standard for small screen screams, a new featurette with film critics Joe Lipset and Trace Thurman, co-hosts of the podcast Horror Queers. Trailer, image gallery. So yeah, we got some really nice bonus features and stuff, and just amazing. When you get to the bonus features, though, they do talk quite a bit about, and I never really thought of it this way until I started watching the bonus. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. They talk about how, Salem's Lot, both the book and the miniseries, really was a product of its time, and talking about, distrust in the government and that they do, like with the horror queers, what was it called? A gold standard for small screen screams, talking about there does feel like to be a little bit of gay content in the miniseries, or at least some hints at it and stuff. Some interesting takes. So, I started, it's like, wow, it got me thinking about things about this movie I never thought of really before. I just thought it was a genuinely scary as hell, brilliant vampire movie, based off of a brilliant book. So that's the way I looked at it. But and the picture quality on this, wow. It looks amazing. It looks great. It's definitely the best I've ever seen this movie look. They don't use any kind of like digital cleanup on it or anything. You're definitely going to get grain. For some people, that they don't like their picture quality too grainy, this might bug you a little bit. But, you understand, it's a TV movie from the 70s. It's not going to look sleek, and it's not going to have that digital look like a lot of movies have today. It's not going to have that cleaned up look unless they use digital cleanup, which they didn't do. So it's going to look like a film. There are parts it's pretty grainy, but some parts you get really nice clean images. Some of the scarier scenes look great. The monster, the scene with Jeffrey Lewis with "Look at me, teacher," it looks phenomenal in 4K. It's like the 4K really does a great job bringing out the demonic looking eyes of the vampires. Just man, oh man. That scene looks phenomenal. I will say though, it's like there is one, you got to be really quick to catch it, but if you do catch it, there is the part where when Danny Glick goes up to Mark's window, is like, "Let me in, Mark." He commands it, and Mark puts the cross. He's like, "Go away," and you see him start to live back. It's very, very faint, but if you look close, you could see it. You could see, I think it looks like it's covered in black cloth, but you could kind of see the lift or whatever that they attach the actor to. You could kind of see it moving a little bit. You do get that amount of detail in this, but it looks phenomenal. It looks gorgeous in 4K, and I am so proud that we got this. And like I said, there are other TV movies from the 70s. I really hope that maybe there's a chance we could start seeing some 4K releases for them. Like I said, if they would turn around and do a 4K for Helter Skelter, I'd be on that in a heartbeat. Give it the same love and treatment you gave this one, I'll be on that buy that up in a second. So anyway, the sound quality is pretty good. It sounds okay if you're just watching on just like a regular TV and stuff. Harry Suckman's score comes in pretty clear. There are some moments I kind of felt like I had to kind of turn it up just a little bit to listen to the listen to the dialogue and stuff like that. But yeah, the sound is pretty good on it and stuff. I think Arrow did a bang up job on this, and they really, really put the effort into this. And, this is so thrilling that we got this. So here we go. We're going to go. Of course, now they do the slipcovers for their hardbox editions. I know some people, it doesn't bother me, but I know some people aren't really thrilled about it, but it doesn't bother me any. I'll tell you one thing that does bother me. Okay, you got the same artwork here. The one thing that does bother me, really? Nothing? You could have put Ralphie Glick at the window or something, you could have put that great frightening image of Danny Glick at the window. I think that would have been perfect to put on there, but Yeah, that's the only downside. Just nothing on the back, but you get the original artwork and everything else, and you got your side there and everything. So now we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of this, and like I said, you got the poster here. Like I said, I am just so happy. I've been wanting a Salem's Lot poster to add to my art gallery for so long, and now I got one. Like I said, I've already got the frame for it and everything else. Then you got like a different, I believe this is Italian or Spanish. I think it's Italian. You got that one there. Well, that's your poster. And, of course, with the hard box editions, you get your booklet. See, that's what I was saying, something like that. Put something like that maybe on the back there or something, or another image, or something like that, Like you could have done something with it. But yeah, then on the back you got James Mason as Stryker and Reggie Nalder as Barlow. From my understanding, King was, overall, pretty happy with the adaptation of the book, and everything. Like that was the only thing he didn't like, because if you read the book of Salem's Lot, Barlow is more of like a Dracula character. He has a more human appearance, and he talks, and he's like, he's able to seduce victims and stuff like that. Whereas in the miniseries, they went for the more, like Nosferatu vampire. So if you watch, I think it's 2004, the 2004 remake miniseries with Rob Lowe, they had Rutger Hauer play Barlow, and that one, I do admit that version has elements to it that are a bit closer to the book than this one is, but still, this is still a great, with this adaptation, they got what was important. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to diss on anybody that liked the HBO Max Salem's Lot that came out a year or two ago. Sorry, just for me, it's a hard pass. It's no. Sorry. Not dissing on you because you like it. If you like it, that's great. I'm not dissing on you for it. It's just for me, no. This is it. And but anyway, so yeah, there's James Mason and his wife who plays Marjorie Glick in the movie. The scene with Marjorie in the in the funeral home, holy hell. Nightmare fuel for months, let me tell you. Then you got Bonnie Bedelia, Lance Kerwin as Mark, and Susan, You got David Soul, James Mason. I've never seen an episode of Starsky and Hutch, but I've seen David Soul in other movies. I remember him like in Magnum Force. I've seen him some other stuff too. There you go. Just this movie, like 4K really does work for this movie, especially with the whole like horrific gothic atmosphere, and just kind of like trying to, that it's so beautiful, that blend of like old-fashioned gothic Dracula-esque kind of look, bring it into like a modern day setting. It's amazing. You got the town there, so yeah, just Mark and Ben, just an amazing movie, or amazing. Yeah. See, something like this. Like, wouldn't that go great on the back of the box? Or something like that. You see what I'm getting at? You do. You're not stupid. But anyway, so yeah. Really, really nice. I'm not going to put the poster back because I'm going to get ready to frame that here in a few minutes. And here we go. On this one, I went with the alternate artwork because you got the original artwork on both, on the slipcover and on the hard case. So I was like, well, I'll go ahead and use the alternate artwork, for the standard case. Of course, it's just the text and everything on the back there. Open it up. Got your little Salem's Lot population sticker. So that's cool. Then you got the advertisement for Red Sonja getting ready to come out on 4K. And you got your two discs. There's disc 1. That's the original TV miniseries version. And disc 2, the theatrical with the bonus features. And now, real quick, you guys are going to see me do a little transformation here because, see, I got a black case. This is a 4-disc case. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate this. I'm trying to save up a little bit of space in my area. So I'm going to combine a couple of things. So I'm going to put in, I got the space saved for my 2 4K discs. I need to wipe these down. Hang on a second. There we go. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, so I'm going to put in my two 4K discs there. As you can see, I was just mentioning the 2004 miniseries, which I have right here on DVD. No, I don't have it on Blu-ray because there's not a Blu-ray available. Maybe one day we might get one. Who knows? And then on the other side, I've got the other Stephen King vampire movie, The Night Flyer. Yeah, boy. I gotta wipe that down. Boy, that's got a lot of fingerprints on it. Sorry, man, the glare and the fingerprints on it, holy hell. If you've never seen The Night Flyer, check it out. It's a very, very good adaptation of Stephen King's short story from Nightmares and Dreamscapes. So, okay, so you see I got the 4-disc case, so I'm going to take my stuff here. Go. So, yeah, just kind of combine a couple of things. Well, you know, it's like I could have, if there was like a Blu-ray or a 4K of the one that came out on HBO, if, you know, they had that out there, and it's like, then I would just put all the versions of Salem's Lot in here instead of The Night Flyer. But that doesn't exist since it's only on streaming, so. Anyway, so go ahead and put that there. Put my sticker in here. Take my 2 discs. Come on. So yeah, just kind of combine a couple of things, save a little bit of space. So you guys have seen me do this kind of thing before. There we go. All right. And there we go. Got everything in there now, so. That'll work. So, and there we go. Now we put everything back in here. And again, this to me is one of the best days ever to finally hold my favorite vampire movie in my hands on 4K. And it looks good. It sounds good. I am just in heaven right now. So, would I recommend this? Absolutely. If you're a fan of the movie, definitely get it. Definitely check it out. You know, if you want like a genuinely well-made, scary vampire movie. Now, granted, you know, because it's 3 hours, it is a bit of a slow burn. I know some people have talked about like they're not a fan of this movie because it's too long. It takes too long to get going. But it's like once it gets going, boy, it kicks into hard. Yeah, it's a little slow paced in the beginning, but man, once it gets going, it kicks into high gear, man. It's amazing. I know Quentin Tarantino hates this movie. You know, I was like, you know, Quentin, you're a great filmmaker. Nobody denies that, but you know, I definitely don't agree with everything you say. And I sure shit don't agree that Paul Dano and Matthew Lillard are the worst actors. You know, but anyway, but would I recommend this? Definitely, yeah. You know, if you're a fan of this movie, or if you just want a genuinely scary vampire movie, you're a Stephen King fan or a Tobe Hooper fan, yeah, get this and add this to your library. You'd be super glad that you did. It's perfection. I love it. And yeah, just before we get ready to go, I'm going to remind you one more time that, you know, yes, I am ready to do the arrow video, you know, just showing off all my arrows that I own. I got a decent collection, but I think, you know, some people will be like, well, I thought you'd have more than that, but them's the breaks. But I just want to show you a couple other things I picked up before we sign off here. I know that there is a 4K version of this that Imprint just put out. Here's the problem. I'll go ahead and show you. I picked this up. It was only $12.99. Blu-ray DVD combo pack. I got Vampire Circus. Here's the thing. It's brand new as steel. Here's the thing. I have never seen this movie before. It's a Hammer movie I've never gotten to watch. I honestly don't know if I'm even going to like this movie or not. And the cheapest I could find the Imprint 4K available for is like $75. And I'm sorry, but $75 for excuse me, $75 for a 4K for a blind buy just to me seems to be a bit too much. For a movie I may wind up not even liking, you know. Usually, you know, I mean, yeah, the majority of Hammer movies are great, but you do have to admit, not every Hammer movie is always up to snuff. And it's like, and also too, I was like, well, this is kind of cool because this Blu-ray is put out by Synapse Films. I have the other Synapse Blu-ray releases. I have Countess Dracula, I have Twins of Evil, I have The Hands of the Ripper. So this will go nice with that collection. But like I figured $12.99 for a blind buy, I can live with that a lot easier than I can like a $75 blind buy. And what I'll do is I'll watch this movie. If I really like it, then I'll keep an eye out. The bookstores, the record stores, all that kind of stuff. And, you never know. Be patient. Maybe at some point somebody might sell theirs off. I can get it for a more reasonable price. But for right now, this is going to have to do. And this one, I know it doesn't have all the bonus features that the 4K does, but at least this one's got some. The bloodiest show on earth. Making Vampire Circus documentary, Gallery of Grotesqueries, a brief history of circus horrors featurette. Visiting the House of Hammer, Britain's legendary horror magazine featurette. Vampire Circus motion comic book, still and poster gallery theatrical trailers. So I know it's not going to have all the bells and whistles, but I'm sorry, just for right now, this is going to have to do. Like I said, I need to watch this movie first, find out if I even like it, if I would want to upgrade it. And then you never know, there's always a possibility too. That's an Australian release. Maybe Kino or maybe Vinegar Syndrome or somebody over here they'll put out like a 4K version of it that might be more affordable. So you never know. We just have to wait and see what happens. But for right now, yeah, Blu-ray DVD combo is going to have to do the trick. I'm sorry, but we'll see what happens. So we got Vampire Circus. And this one here, I know I committed the cardinal sin. I bought a DVD, folks. I got this on DVD because there is a Blu-ray of this. There is a Blu-ray of this, but it is hard to find. It's expensive, and the Blu-ray really is just a burn on demand. And this here is just a regular DVD version. If maybe down the road we get a better or at least a more affordable Blu-ray option, I'll definitely upgrade. But I wanted to get this. I've seen this movie. It's fun. It's very, very ultra low budget, but it's fun. And I wanted to get this to add to my my Christmas horror movie collection. I got Sleigh Bells, a fun movie. You got is it Bostwick or Bostwick? Bostwick. Okay. You got Barry Bostwick from Rocky Horror Picture Show, Brad. He plays Santa, and then you got these three girls. There's Christina Klebe. If you're a fan of Rob Zombie's Halloween, you remember Christina Klebe, especially the full frontal. Yeah. Hey, Casper, the asshole friendly ghost, give me my fucking beer, and these three girls, what ends up happening is, Krampus is unleashed, and these three girls, team up with Santa to help fight Krampus to save Christmas. It's a fun movie. It's very, very ultra low budget, but it's entertaining. It's kind of fun. It's a fun time. And like I said, if we could ever get a nicer Blu-ray edition of this movie, I'll upgrade. But for right now, for a hard to find, overly priced, burn on demand Blu-ray, just no thanks. I can stick, I'll survive with just a DVD for the time being, but anyway, so I mean, you think about it, I kind of cover all the bases here, didn't I? Think about it. I bought a DVD, I bought a Blu-ray, and I bought a 4K. How cool is that? So there we go. So, I support them all. And the last thing I got, this is amazing. I've been wanting this NECA figure forever. And I finally got it. I am so happy I got it. I finally got Sam from Trick or Treat. Ever since I started collecting NECA figures, now I'm not a super avid collector. Most of the time I get these for like Christmas or my birthday. But I've been wanting a Trick or Treat Sam. I've been wanting one forever, and I finally found one for a good price, and I got it. That is amazing. Like I said, I love Trick or Treat. Oh, Trick or Treat 2, Trick or Treat 2. I'll believe it when I see it. Right now, I'm not holding my breath for that. I mean, come on. It's like, come up to close to what? Almost 20 years and still no Trick or Treat 2? So yeah, sorry, I'm not holding my breath on that one. But to finally get this figure, I am over the moon. I am so happy to finally add this to my NECA figure collection. I am just beyond thrilled. So I've been wanting this bad boy. You can tell I am a Trick or Treat fan. So I am just beyond thrilled to have it. As a matter of fact, I think that... where is it? Yeah, it's there. You can barely see it. I don't know. You see the lollipop there. But anyway, just I am so thrilled to finally have this. You know, and it looks beautiful, and can't wait to put it with the rest of my collection. And love it. Love the movie. Love everything. So yeah. So here we go. So anyway, so that's going to wrap things up. And we got Trick or Treat, Sam NECA figure, Salem's Lot 4K. Get it. It's worth it. I promise you, it's worth the money. My opinion, it's worth it. Even for just the bonus features alone, it's worth it. Vampire Circus on Blu-ray for the time being. We'll see what if anything happens. And Sleigh Bells on DVD. You know, if you don't want to buy a DVD of this, you know, it's free to stream on a lot of sites. And Fandango, that's where I saw it. You know, I watched it for free on Fandango last Christmas, and so yeah. So check it out. You know, if you just want like a fun, you know, Christmas horror comedy and stuff. So there you go. All right, so that's going to wrap things up. And like I said, you know, be on the lookout. That Arrow video is going to be popping up probably before you even know it. So that's it. So if anybody took the time to watch all of this, I thank you for doing it. I appreciate you for doing it. I honestly hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, would you mind leaving a like, comment if you want to comment. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do it. You know, ring the bell, all that good fun stuff you always hear all the YouTubers say and everything. And that's it, yeah. And enjoy, everybody. Love your movie library. I'll love you back. And take care. Have a good night. See you all later. Bye.